Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's our free parenting series. So sorry, I've been struggling with the network, and also the network is very bad here. I think the weather is humid, so we may be unable to use our slides. So sorry for that. Okay, you're welcome once again. It's our free parenting series. Yes, in the month of November, Jordan Wisdom and Parenting Wisdom Academy decided to have a free class for all parents in her community. Yes, what does Jordan Family and Parenting Wisdom Consults do? We work with couples, especially those in their early years of marriage. We help them through family issues and help them build systems and structures in their homes. So, in the month of November, we're going to be treating free parenting classes for all parents. So, if you're here, I want you to send in your favorite emojis. You can just chat us, say hello. Hello, I'm happy to have you here. You're all welcome to today's parenting class. Sorry, we're a few minutes late. It's better we hold it than not holding it at all. Okay, what's our topic for today? Or before I start, my name is Amarachi Eze. I am a family life coach and the founder of Jordan Family and Parenting Wisdom Academy. As I earlier said, what we do here is that we work with couples in their early stages of marriage. We'll help them navigate the challenges of family life and parenting. So we'll be moving quickly to our topic, parenting in the 21st century. Parenting in the 21st century. Who is a 21st century child? As I said again, sorry, we're not able to project our slides today. So who is a 21st century child? A 21st century child is a child born from 2001 to 2100. So these children are children from 23 years and below. They are called the 21st century children. So before we start looking at them, we will also need to see, we that are the parents of this 21st century, how did our own parenting go? So if you will need to understand the parenting in the 21st century, you will also need to know a bit about yourself so that you will be able to understand what happened to you and how these has shaped your life as a parent and how it is going to affect your parenting. Then with that, we will need to change our behaviors so that we can be able to parent these children. Okay, so I said we have some questions to answer to see how great our own mainly when we are children, how our own parenting works. And the very big question is, how great? Okay, sorry, the question is, did we turn out well? When we were children, did we turn out well? So we'll be looking at these questions to see how the reality of our childhood and how it has affected us. So the big question here is, how great was our childhood? Anytime I ask this question, did we turn out well? Parents will always tell me yes. But when we go through this series of questions, we'll begin to see what happens to us, how and what it has made us be, and the parenting and how it's going to affect our parenting. Unless we begin to change our beliefs, then we'll be able to parent in a better way. So here are the few questions we can answer quickly. How great was your childhood? So I want you to rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10. You're going to be writing it. You have your pen and writing material. Please write it down. How great was your childhood? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not satisfied and 10 being it was great, I'm fulfilled, I'm satisfied. So how great was your childhood emotionally as a child? Where did you feel loved by your parents or by your caregivers? Did you feel loved? How you were treated? Did you feel it? Not your parents saying I love you, but did you feel it with how they interacted with you? So if you felt love, you can put 8, 9, 10, depending on your rating. If you felt you were not loved, then you should go for the lower numbers, 1, 2, 3. Then another question, emotionally, how understood did you feel at home or in school? How understood did your parents understand you, or did you feel? Or how misunderstood did you feel? So both, just there are two opposite words. How understood did you feel and how misunderstood did you feel? Rate yourself. Then how stuck did you feel as a child? You had a problem, you don't know who to talk to. How stuck did you feel as a child? Was there anyone there to listen to you? So also rate yourself. Rate yourself, you will know your score. Then how afraid were you? How afraid were you from the parenting style that was used for you? Were your parents a shouting type? Did it make you become afraid? So how afraid were you? Rate yourself. Then relationship wise, let's also see how it turned out. How easy was it for you to relate with your parents? How easy was it for you to relate with your parents? Rate yourself. How easy was it for you to relate with all adults or to seek help from them? How easy was it for you to seek help from your parents, from adults, from the people in your life? And also, do you always want to be alone? Do you enjoy staying alone? Rate yourself. If you enjoy that, rate yourself. If you like to be around people, also rate yourself. Then communication wise, how confident were you to air your views to your parents, to caregivers, to adults? How confident were you to air your views? How difficult was it to air your opinions? You have an opinion, and maybe adults are talking, or even your classmates, your age mates. How easy was it for you to air your opinions? Even in the classroom, how easy was it for you to air your opinions? Then, how free did you feel to air your thoughts and your feelings? Feelings very important. You have a thought, you have a feeling. How easy was it for you to air it to your parents, to adults? How easy was it? Then also, how honest were you with your thoughts when it comes to airing your thoughts and your feelings to your parents? How honest were you? Yes, it's one thing to, as in, be able to air the thoughts, then it is also one thing to be clearly honest with them. So, how easy was it? Rate yourself. And finally, how much did you miss home? Or how much did you like home? How much did you miss home? And also, how much do you like home? Yes, as a teenager, also as a young adult that has gone to university, you have experienced freedom. How much did you miss home? Yes, this really tells me of my experience. During my university days, most times I don't want to come home. Why? Because of the shoutings. Yes, my parents were not really the flogging type, but the shouting, I would prefer you flog me than the shouting. So, how much did you love home? How much did you miss home as a young adult? So, if you rate yourself, you can score yourself. Score yourself. We have about 0 up to 10 questions. So, if you got a higher side, that means yes, your childhood was a bit great. If you have the lesser numbers, then that's the reality of your childhood. So this the numbering we're getting is actually showing us how great or how unsatisfied our childhood were. That will be going back to our question again. So, did we really turn out well? By now, I can begin to see that most of you are seeing yourself. The areas that you were damaged, especially emotionally. Yes, most of us are carrying emotional baggages from the beatings, from the yellings, from the shouting our parents gave us. So for me, I will say that um, we didn't turn out well. We got fixed after countless mistakes. We made mistakes. We were not able to really know the right thing. So we got fixed. From there, we just learned and decided to be who we are. So if it is that we got fixed, then there will be need for us to change these behaviors. Or sorry, there will be need for us to change the beliefs we uphold, because these beliefs are going to affect us as parents. So we're going to be changing those beliefs that no longer serve us. There are beliefs that will not serve us anymore. So we'll be changing it so that it will help us become better parents. Then also there will be need for us to unlearn, relearn, and also learn new ways. Sorry, there will be need to unlearn, there will be need for you to learn, and also need to relearn the beliefs that made you who you are, for you to become a better parent. Yes, one of my mentors will always say that the ignorant people of the 21st century are actually people who are unable to unlearn. There are people who are unable to learn and relearn former habits or former things they knew. So in the 21st century, the ignorant people are no longer going to be those that are unable to read and write, but people who are unable to unlearn, to learn, and to relearn new habits. So these people, they are going to be stuck. They are going to be ignorant of the current happenings and the changes in our world today. So for anyone to change his or her beliefs, we will need to understand a triangle. I'm so sorry we can't portray this. So there is a triangle has three angles. So in the first angle, for you to change your belief, the first angle is going to be beliefs. Then at the top are the actions. Then the other ending side, your right side, will be the results. Yes. So if you were among those that discovers that the beliefs you have now are no longer serving you, or that your childhood was not great, then there are certain parenting beliefs you will need to discard, so that you will try to learn new ones and it will help you. So any belief that is not serving you, just note it. The belief that brought about your emotional state, the belief that brought about your relationship state, the belief that brought about how you are now parenting as a parent. I think we'll still need to do a little portrait so we understand what the parenting our fathers gave us did. Yes, it wasn't their fault. That was the best way they would have parented us. That was the best they knew. So we'll be looking at the effect, the resultant effect of all those parenting styles and what it is to our world today. So as I said, okay, the beliefs, any belief that is no longer serving you, you're going to be changing it. But if it is serving you, it's okay. You can continue with it. Then your belief, what you believe determines your action. Remember, I'm talking about if you want to change your belief, what you believe determines your actions. Then, and your actions will also give you your result. So I'll use an instance. For example, our parents believe that if you don't flog a child, the child will not turn out well. That was their belief, or they believe that flogging was the best discipline for you to keep misbehavior. So that was their belief, that flogging was the best discipline, the best you can do to change a misbehavior. So because of that, they continued that action of flogging. And that action of flogging has brought the results we now have. today. So what are these results we have now? If you check, if you look at the world now, there is chaos everywhere. There is aggressions. People cannot manage their emotions. Yes, where did I get this fact? If you look at the happenings, our news headlines, it says it all. Every day when you have open headlines, you will see the commotions in families. You hear of father killing son, mother stabbing husband. You hear of different types of things that are disturbing. Why? Because we feel that is the way to go. Because we are not able to manage our emotions, no matter what it is that the other person have done. If you're able to manage your emotion, you will know, oh, you need to calm down. No matter what it is, you will need to calm down. Then when you are calm, you can think what is the right way to solve it. But we have all turned to be aggressive. So that is what the current state, and all these things are accumulation of the parenting style that was used on us. Even now, if you watch out our children, any little thing there is aggression. The only thing they know how to do is to hit, is to beat, is to fight. So for any time you hit your child, you're teaching that child that the only solution, how to solve a problem, is by hitting, is by aggression. So that is why we're seeing the current happenings in our world today. Children are not able to manage their emotions. They are not able to communicate well. They are not able to relate. The media is another problem in our society. So the parenting style and also media has really affected the way our children behave. So there will be need for us to change these actions. There will be need for us to change the beliefs that no longer serve us, so that we'll get a better result in parenting our children. So quickly, we're going to be highlighting what parenting requires today. What does parenting require? We have seen how our parents parented us. We have seen the resultant effect of chaos. We have seen the aggression. We have seen people unable to relate with one another. We have seen the happenings in families. Children can even, yes, kill parents for rituals. Why? Because there is no connectivity. There is no emotional attachment between them. So, what does parenting in the 21st century requires? So, the first thing we need to know that parenting in this 21st century requires knowledge. It requires knowledge. Sometimes we used to hear this saying that our parents did not need to learn for them to know how to parent. Yes, that was their time, that was their age. But now this is the age of technology, this is the age of information. So many things have changed. And if we're not able to learn, our children are exposed to so many things daily. So we need to know a way to get these children so that we can connect with them, so that they will learn from us instead of learning from the happenings in the world, instead of learning from the happenings in the society that may be harmful to them. So it requires us to have knowledge. And the first knowledge we need to be having is knowledge about ourselves. What happened to us when we were children and how it has affected our parenting. Then we also need to have a knowledge about our children. Yes, if you are able to understand somebody, you'll be able to give the person the best. So children, they will come with different temperament. Children also have the lens through which they see things. That's what we'll be tackling next week, next Thursday, 14th of November 2024. Understanding the child you have. So there will be knowledge about yourself, what happened to you, how it has affected you, and if there is need for you to change your beliefs, you do. Then we'll get knowledge about our children. So this is what the number one thing parenting in the 21st century requires. Then the second thing parenting also requires is that you will need to understand you as a parent, you're a custodian of time, a custodian of talent, and you're a custodian of treasure. These three T's. Be a custodian of time, custodian of talent, and custodian of knowledge. So what does this mean? So you need to intentionally create time for children, for you to be able to harness that talent and treasure inbuilt in your child. You will need to create time. It's true that the world is pacing very fast and the economy is not helping things. But then, as a parent, you will need to intentionally create time to connect with these children. You will need to intentionally create time so that you will be able to harness the talent, you will be able to harness the treasure in this your child. I want to tell you that there is no child without a talent, and there is no child without a hidden treasure in him or her. Yes, even though you feel that the person is somehow mental or somehow sick, that child also have a talent and a treasure that need to be what to be harnessed by the parents. So create time intentionally. Yes, the economy is not helping, as I said so. So if we can begin to think of how we'll become start working from home. Yes, thank God for technology. There are so many remote jobs now. If you will think of how to start using that opportunity so that you can create time for your children. If you need to be self-employed, please save up money, especially for 9 to 5 workers. Or if you're still unable to do this, yes, myself, I'm still a 9 to 5 worker, even though I'm yearning to actually work from home. So what do I do? Because we spend most of the time in the office, in the evening time, once I come back between that 5, 6, I need to connect with them, no matter how short. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you connect with them. Then tell them, okay, let mommy maybe take a shower, retire. Then in the evening, I make most of my night. That's 8 to 9. That is when 8 o'clock, that is our bedtime. But between that period, we use it to gist, to understand what happened during the day. We also use it to tell stories, to change maybe you can use it as a form of a training to correct misbehavior. Then we also use it, I use it especially also we do our Bible study, even though it is short. So if we're not telling story, we're going to be reading story, Bible stories or story books that are educative. So try as much as possible. If you 9 to 5 work and make out time in the evenings, bedtime, utilize it very, very well. It's going to help child. So intentionally create time. So the greatest gift you can give to your child is your presence. Please, it is very, very important. Okay, the next thing we need to note is that, sorry, the next thing is that the first one is that parenting requires knowledge. The second thing is that parenting, you as a parent, a custodian of time, custodian of talent, and custodian of knowledge. Then the third thing you will need to know is that parenting is about connection, it's not about control. You will need to learn how to connect with your child. You will need to learn how to connect with your teenager. Very important. If the only thing you do is to control these children, when they become teenagers, it will be difficult for you. So that is why you see most teenagers, they fight with their parents. They fight with the adults in their life. Why? You have controlled them all this while. And they are not able to air their opinions. They are not able to say their view freely, even though it should be in a respectful way. So they are not able to do this. But when they become teenagers, they are unable to take it. They are unable to take it. So they will want to, with the energy in them, they will want to exhibit true aggressions, true wanting to fight. Sometimes they will even leave your home for you. Yes, this reminds me of I was in a tricycle one day, and a guy was asking his friend, are my parents looking for me? He has not slept in the house for I think 2 to 3 days. What happened? Said the mother especially is always shouting. Said, okay, let me leave her house for her. So you see it. So instead of that continuous shouting, continuous blaming, because we're not able to connect with these children, the child will go to the extent of leaving the house for you. And when they leave the house, that will even be very bad for them, because you don't know who they are going to stay with, you don't know the people that are going to mingle with. So they are exposed to more harm. So parenting today requires us what? To connect with our children. We don't need to what? It doesn't require fear. Sometimes as parents, we are even afraid. Are you sure this child is not going to join bad camp? But if you're able to connect with this child, instead of parenting with fear, no matter what happens, your child is still going to come back to you. If he has a problem, if he has something that is itching him, he's going to come back to you to ask. Why? Because there is connection. You have not gone ahead with control to control how this child thinks, how he or she behaves. Remember, children have their own thinking, they have their own brain, they are also human beings. So we need to what? Give up control and what? Connect with these children. We need to understand them. If we go with fears are going to affect us. They are going to really what? Damage our children. So, lastly, we are going to be looking at the different areas we will need to consider when parenting the 21st century child. What are the things you will need to consider when you're parenting the 21st century child? So, here are also a few questions we will answer. We'll do a little visualization exercise. If it needs you to think, how do I really want my child to turn out? So, the first question here says, who do I want my child to be in the next 18 years? Who do you want your child to be? Spiritually, who do you want your child to be? Emotionally, who do you want your child to be? Intellectually, who do you want your child to be? Financially, who do you also want your child to be in the next 18 years? So this is the age they are permitted to stay with us. Or when they become, before you know it, they go into school. Some of us are even lessening it. You see a child 16 years is already in the university. So you see 10 years, some of them have entered boarding school. So you see, we don't have enough time to impact the lives of these children. So who do you want this child to be in the next 18 years? So you need to intentionally think about that, write it down, and start working towards it. Then another question you need to ask yourself is, what are the things that I will need to do to make this child become who it is I want the child to be? So, what are the things you need to make my child become that? Do you need to give time? What time do you need to intentionally create for your child? What resources will you need to get to train this child? Then, what trainings do you need to undergo as a parent? I told us some of the beliefs we have does no longer do no longer serve us. So, what are the trainings you will need to undergo as a parent to change these beliefs so that it will help you to connect with your children? It will help you to give the best to your children. Then, what obstacles do I foresee that will hinder my achieving these goals? What are the obstacles that I will need what are the obstacles I'll need to that I foresee that may hinder my achieving these goals? If you observe those obstacles, you deal with them. Is it work? Is work affecting me? Then try to make a better option. Is it time? I don't have time for my children. I told you in the night, 7, 8, use it, interact with them, ask them questions, get to know about them, get to know about the things happening in their lives. Children, they need our presence so much. That is why you see them. Once you're in the house, all of them want to jump on you. Why? They want to connect with you. They want you to understand them. They want to learn from you. Then, if you're able to identify these obstacles, then you will need to fix it. So, we'll be looking at quickly, we're rounding up, it's almost 30 minutes. We're going to be looking at the different areas we'll need to consider why parenting the 21st century child. The first one is spiritual life. What spiritual goal do you have your child? As your child is with you this 18 years, what spiritual goals do you have? There is a Christian statistics that said in the that a child gives his life to Christ. That's for Christians at the age of 4 to 14 years. That's about 84% of children give their life to Christ. That's between the age of 4 to 14 years, 84%. So as a parent, if you meet this opportunity, then it's going to be difficult. So these are the times they need to understand. Sorry. So these are the times they will need to understand the God you serve. I heard of a parent complaining that anytime he's talking with the husband, children will always say, "Ah, Mommy, Daddy, you should stop discussing these abstract things. Let's discuss reality." You see, do you think that those children understand who their parents serve? They are seeing the God their parents serve as abstract. Why? Their parents had not done, they didn't do the foundational work. So that is why these children understand the God their parents serve as abstract. So you see, a lot of us were this are Japa syndrome. Yet, when your children, if you don't do the foundation now, they are young. When they move out there, things are great. There, things are okay. There will be no need. They will see no need for them to have Christ in their life. So, what spiritual work are you doing to help your child understand the God you serve? Remember, time is of the essence. Make out time for your children. Teach them who your God is. Not just taking them to church. Yes, that is okay. Taking them to church is okay. But then teach them yourself that they should understand who your God is. Then another area we need to look at is also in the area of intellect. Intellect. Yes, a lot of us do these intellectual goals. We do it very well. We send our children to the best schools. But then when you have sent your child to the best schools, do you also try to understand how your child learns? Or you just send the child to school just to learn? Some of them do not even understand what is being taught. Every day we tell them, read your book, read your book, read your book so you can pass your exam. That is all. Some of our children, do you know how your children, the best way your children learn or your child learns? Some of them are auditory learners, they learn by what they hear. Some of them understand more by what they see. That is why they want to see pictures, they want to see it written down. Some of them are kinesthetic learners. They learn through activities, they learn through play. Do you understand who your child is intellectually? Or you just send your child to school and leave everything in the hands of the teacher? The teacher is not the very first person your child should learn from. Your child should learn from you before your child can learn from your teacher. So if your child is in the form of saying, "No, my teacher says this," that means you have not also done your work as a parent to understand the intellectual goals of this child. Then another thing we will also need to balance here is also, why going for the intellectual goals, we should also have emotional goals. Yes, intellectual IQ, that's IQ, sorry, IQ is okay. But then there is also something called emotional quotient, EQ. Somebody that is emotionally stable, or that has high emotional intelligence, is going to do better in life than somebody that has a more intellectual quotient. So that is why you see somebody graduates with a first class, second class upper, and yet is not able to go through life successfully. Is not able to relate, is not able to be successful. Why? Because intellectual goals, it's not the only thing we need to succeed in life. So you also help your child in that area. Another area is also skill building. So we need to teach as they are young. From 2 years, your child is able to learn. That is why when he's putting on his clothes, or you want to put on his clothes, you see the child shouting. He wants to do it himself. Even though you know quite right that the child at that stage may not be able to do it. But because you have this intention, oh, I want to build this child, I want to build up the skills in the child, allow the child to do it. When the child must have struggled for some time, it's going to allow you to do it. But at that time, the child is learning. So you need to teach age appropriate chores for these children. Don't bring plenty house and keep in the house. There should be a time, if your children have grown at least from 7 years above, please, if it's possible, take out the domestic cleaners in the house. Let your children learn to do it. It's going to help them. It's going to help develop their cognitive reasoning. So, build up skills. It's also another area you need to look out for in your children. Then another thing is character building. Very important. You need to build up the characters. What character traits do you want your child to possess? You want your child to be honest? You want your child to be excellent? You need to start now to build it in your child. Not when the child grows, then you do that. No, it will not stick. Anything you want your child to learn, start from childhood and begin to teach it. And as you're teaching it, it's not in shouting, it's not in yelling, but in connection. Then your child will understand that. Then we also talk about, okay, we've talked about emotional goals. Then we also talk about health and fitness. As some of us, we feed our children, want them to be as fat as. We want to force them to reduce the food they take. But you started it right from when they were little. So it's going to be difficult for them. So if you want them to learn to be fit, you start it from when they are young. Ration their food. They should have time for food. Then also engage them with exercises. They should learn to exercise. I told us earlier, anything a child learns from childhood, it sticks. So with that, you're able to achieve that of health and fitness for your child. Then you talk about social goals. Very important. Sometimes we lock up our children in the house. But then if they ask you, say you want your child to be a world leader. But then how is your child going to be a world leader? And the only thing or the only place your child knows is just the four corners of your home. So you see, we need to let these children interact with the environment around them. But the problem, even though because you're parenting with fear, because you have not done what you're supposed to do, you lock these children inwards and you say, I don't want my child to learn bad behavior. Maybe from neighbors, from people around. But then you send your child to school. So to dispart this fear, once there is fear, there is something, there is a knowledge that is lacking or that you feel you have not done to your child. That is why there is fear there. So instead of locking your child up, what you do is that you teach your child the skills your child needs to learn. If you're afraid your child will mingle with bad friends, then teach your child how to choose good friends. Teach your child the values they need to see and know, okay, this person behaves like us. And because of that, I can make this person my friend. So with that, you experiment, push the child out, see how the child will interact, see the behaviors the child will exhibit. Then when the child comes in, if there is any bad behavior you're noticing, then you teach the child the right thing to do. I always say that parenting is in the mess. Is it in that mess that you give the message and the child understands it? But if you lock your child indoors, your child only associate maybe with the sister if or the siblings if they have. If they don't have, then they will find it difficult to relate with people. And when they grow, they will always want to be on their own. Then another thing we'll need to teach is career goals. Yes, I can. Some schools are also helping out in this one by the activities they give to these children. So expose your child to different careers, especially when they start becoming teenagers. Expose them to different things. When they have their break, free time, you can bring them maybe to your workplace so that they will need to see, okay, this is the career my parents do. Then they will need to maybe learn one or two things there. Then technology has also helped. Is there anything that your child have an interest in? Expose your child to those things. It's going to help your child find fulfillment. Don't be the one to choose career for your child. Because you have seen children that have grown, they've done the best, maybe they did medicine, they are doctors, but then there is no fulfillment. So that is where it's at this stage that you hear, "Ah, this person is doing well and yet committed suicide." Why? You chose a career for your child. So allow these children, expose them, allow them to go for their interest. Remember, I told us that there are talents in them, there are talents, sorry, and there are treasures in them. So allow them to well, go the path in which they have been uh uh how do I put it? Their maker has made them to be. And with that, you will see them thriving in the area they will need to thrive. Then another thing is financial goals. Very important. Some of we parents have made money, but you're not able to teach your child how to what, or how the money came about. Your child doesn't know anything. What your child knows, mommy, I need this, daddy, I need this. It is being provided for the child. But the child is not able to manage these finances when left in the child's care. So it's not only about saving, you teach your child how to save. No, that is not what finances is all about. You also teach your child how to make it. You teach your child how to manage money. You teach your child also how to invest. So this is going to help so that even when you leave a large chunk of money for your child, you know that this child is not going to squander it. So financial growth is also very important. The love relationship. Remember, we're writing this thing out. It out. There is also a workbook. Even if you are interested in the workbook, then you can also have it. It will give you a clearer view, a clearer picture of what is needed. Then love relationship. Here is when our child are growing, they become teenagers. So many influences. But if you have taught your child how to make friends, the kind of people to associate with, then it will be easier at that time when they are to involve in a marriage relationship, they know who to choose. Then you also need to teach them that in your family, any love relationship that is being engaged in is not for pleasure, is not for fun. That you only go into a relationship when the time is right, when you know you're ready to get married. So your child grows up with this thing and know, anytime, once it is not at that, any relationship is not for pleasure. You get it? So that when they reach this teenage age, when they see their other of their mates maybe messing up, they will know, no, this is not for my family. This is not for the family I come from. Why? You have taught this thing right from childhood. This is going to help a lot. Then you talk about life vision. Yes, your child have a vision. I can remember myself when I was, okay, that was, yes, when I was much younger. Or how did I even get this Jordan family? It was, I think I can't remember the age now, but as I was watching a film and I saw it was like a hospital, mental health institution. Yes, that was how what captured my attention. And I started developing a love for anything mental health to see that people are healthy as a family, as or they know mentally. So allow your children, give them a wide range of so that they will be able to discover their vision. So you can also give them opportunity. Yes, give them opportunity to dream. There are tools we use in the academy that helps us or that will help your child dream a lot. We call it daily connection tool. So this daily connection tool contains these 11 points that we have listed that will help you with your training with your child. So I think we'll be stopping here. I would like to apologize once more. It would have been better if there were slides And with that, you'll be able to understand that better. So for those in the academy, or sorry, for those in the group, I'm going to be dropping the slide there. Then if you're not in the group, check in the description below. There is a link for you to there is a link for you to join the WhatsApp group. That's our support community. That's where you can also have access to me. Then also there is also a workbook. As I said earlier, if you're interested, click on that workbook. It's going to give you insight to what it is we're doing. Then that workbook, even if you go through that link, you will see what it entails. It's a 1 month training that you're going to have with me. I will help you build your parenting plan for it's going to help you even for next year. Then there is a free workbook that accompany a free journal that is going to help you. Then in that workbook, you also get a 1 month daily connection tool. Is going to help you connect with your child, know what your child or how your child is faring. It's going to help you. Every day you have an activity you're going to do with your child that will help you understand who your child is. It will also help you to create time for your child. So that is it. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Yes, we'll be closing by now. This is already 46 minutes. We're able to hit the time. Yes, I wanted it to be a 45 minutes class. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us today. Then also at any time you join, you can make your comments, you ask your questions, and any other thing you think you want to add in the comment section. So thank you once again. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Do have a lovely day and see you next time. Yes, our next class is coming up next Thursday, 14th November 2024. And the topic is understanding the child you have. This is very important. I don't want anybody to miss that class. Understanding the child you have. So you're going to be understanding the child you have so that it will help you to parent better. Thank you so much and do have a lovely day. Bye.